Good morning and welcome to the Camnet Breakfast Show with me, your usual host, Patrick Soko, and my co-host, Shalom Kalimbula, on the other side. We will be with you up to the hour of 9, and just now we are going to go straight into our first segment we call Health Corner with the doctors.
Good morning. My name's Dr. Rafat Basit Masa. I'm coming from Medical Women's Association of Zambia, MWAZ, and I'm working in University Teaching Hospital as a general surgeon. It's wonderful to have you back again. We have been talking about burns in the last 3 days. We have talked about introduction, we've talked about the causes of burns, we've talked about the symptoms of burns, we have talked about the treatment of burns. Burns, it's a very, very important topic. As I mentioned earlier on, that we have a lot of children, a lot of adults that we have been receiving who are getting burned, especially in the cold season. They are getting burned more and they are coming to our healthcare. And some of them we're losing them, some of them we're managing to get them back into their life, though not in full form. So when you are burned, it actually changes your life completely. Remember that your whole life changes. You end up having scars, and you start to feel different from the other people around you. You start to feel depressed, you start to feel sad, you start to feel, why me? But some of these things can be avoided, or especially your children. Imagine a child of yours who has been playing around, who has been going to school, suddenly gets burned and loses all the functions of going to school, being happy again. He's always devastated. He or she is always devastated, crying, irritable, has lost hopes. So we can all avoid by simple steps, by making sure that we are always looking after our children and ourselves. So today we are going to talk about complications of burns. You know, burns has been a very devastating injury worldwide, and a lot of people suffer from it. Complications take place. For example, you get burned. One of the complications are you get big scars. You know, you get big scars. Sometimes you lose function in that hand or leg. That makes your life so difficult for you. Remember that we all want to work, we all want to play, we all want to go to school, we all want to be active, but because you've been burnt before and you cannot move one part of your body, that makes your life very, very difficult. And when you're burnt severely, some of the things which you go through are like your heart starts to fail because you've been burnt so badly. You get severe infection, you get so bad infection, serious infections, that you may not even overcome them. Sometimes we lose those people who actually get deep burns. Some of the complications are inhalation burns. For example, you were in a house and you are sleeping with a candle, which is quite common, and the candle falls on your blanket and you get burned totally, which you get actually more than 50% burns in your body. So in those cases, you find that you actually inhaled so much of smoke into your lungs that your lungs are now failing, and they are causing so much of difficulties for you to breathe. You end up being in ICU because you are failing to breathe. We need to help you to breathe, you know. So those are complications of getting burns. Some of the burns are also severe anemia. You get loss of blood. As you get burned, remember that those burns have to be always cleaned. Sometimes they have to be taken to theater for cleaning because you're so much in pain. So you find that those burns become so, as you're cleaning those burns, you're making some bleeding to occur. So imagine every day you're bleeding from those burns, you end up with low blood hemoglobin level, then you need to be transfused. Then nutritional support. You find that especially in low income places, you find that you don't have proper nutritional support. You can't afford what needs to be taken for you to get back into your full form. So you find your nutritional support is very, very, very poor, and you end up getting malnourished because of the same burns. So it's also one of the complications of burns. Then you find that you get severe contractures, those contractures where you can't completely function one part of your body because of really hard scar that has been formed. So even in those situations, you find that if you're a person who has been working and you've been using your right hand all the time, and imagine that your right hand has become stiff and you cannot work anymore, that becomes very, very devastating, very, very difficult, and it makes our environment very, very difficult. Sometimes you find that you've been electrocuted. You find your organs have been burnt, and your liver, your stomach have been burnt because of the same electrical shock. Those are very, very difficult burns to handle. So all these things can be avoided. All these things can be avoided just by simple precautions. Just ensure that wherever you are, however you are, you make sure you are protected and you're keeping your children protected as well, because it becomes very, very difficult. And some of the other complications are, you find that your burns are so severe that you will need that part of your body to be cut off completely. So those are also complications of burns. So all these complications of burns can be avoided just by our simple steps. Let's ensure that we help one another not to go into these things. We also have lots of accidents that take place, and you find that people also get burned. They are called friction burns. They also get burned severely. They get burned, they lose their limbs, they lose a part of the body, which is also very, very difficult and devastating for our people in our environment. We understand that in the low, especially in the low-income families, you find that people can't afford to get a proper stove, and they can't manage to pay a lot of electricity bills. So you find that they end up using braziers. So those braziers are quite, they are quite dangerous especially for children, because you find that you may be cooking and you leave even for 10 minutes, you find a child just finds himself into that pot and completely burned. And you come to our hospital, we do everything for you. Sometimes we lose, every year we are losing a lot of children with these burns, with these deep burns. So these things can simply be avoided. Make sure that when you're cooking in a brazier or something, make sure that you keep away from children, and even yourself, make sure that you should be careful. So these are basically the complications of burns. Sometimes you also have what we call kidney failure, because you've been burned so severely. You are becoming so dehydrated, so much of fluid is coming out from your body because you've been burned, and there's so much fluid you're losing out. So you find that your kidneys also start to dysfunction. They start to lose their function and they end up failing, which is also devastating for you to have kidney failure because of the same burns. Then burns on the face are so devastating because you have lost the look of yourself. Everybody has the right to look beautiful. Everyone has the right to look wonderful, dress up wonderful. This is what we all want. But because of getting burned, you find that sometimes your face, your ears, your nose, everything gets completely distracted, and sometimes you may find that they can never be fixed, because some injuries are so deep that there is nothing much that can be done. So all these things, like I said, can always be avoided. So let's ensure that we avoid injuries to ourselves and to our loved ones. My name's Dr. Rafat Basit Masa. I'm coming from Medical Women's Association of Zambia, MWAZ. Please stay tuned and keep watching Camnet, because every day when you watch something, there's always something that you're always learning. You're learning a lot about healthcare, which we all need to know. They are going to prevent yourselves and your loved ones from getting injured, protect yourself from a lot of complications. Stay tuned with us with Camnet channel, because we'll be every day talking about something different with our channel. Thank you.
Welcome back. Those are the doctors, always handy to give us information. Continuing on the burns, yesterday she was talking about the same issue, and today she has continued to emphasize on the nitty-gritties regarding the burns. Just now we go straight into looking at how the kwacha is faring against the major convertibles. The United States dollars is buying at 16 kwacha 25 ngwe and selling at 16 kwacha 57 ngwe. The Great British Pound is at 19 kwacha 27 ngwe and selling at 19 kwacha 65 ngwe. The Euro is at 16 kwacha 27 ngwe and selling at 16 kwacha 59 ngwe, while the South African Rand is buying at 0.95 ngwe and selling at 0.97 ngwe. Those are your money markets as of today. And remember, these exchange rates vary from each financial institution. But that's how our culture is faring, Patrick, this morning.
Exactly, the same bandwidth where we've been this week, Sharon. Quite an interesting one, because it is not going berserk yet. It's still stable.
The last time I used that word, I think it's 4 or 5 years ago.
Really? Mm-hmm. What were you using it on?
I don't know, but I remember the time I used it, my brother was shocked. You know? Yeah. And that's how I don't forget. Yeah,
but I think for now, with the kwacha has been stable, we just hope that it will continue on its stability, so that we can continue to witness quite a stable economic factors. In that, what it means is that this means that we may have stability in terms of prices, and we have seen already that inflation has been on a decline. We are going towards a single-digit inflation, though there's been a lot of concerns, but also the financial experts have also clarified on the current inflation rate and how it has been dropping. This is just a reflection of how prices or commodities are increasing in terms of the percentage. They're not increasing as high as they were when we were dealing with a double-digit inflation. That was towards the 20s, and luckily Zambia has Zambia's inflation has been stable, because Sharon, you and I have compared other currencies like the ZIM, the ZIM inflation, which has been very. It's actually a triple-digit inflation. Okay. And for Zambia, it has been a double-digit, and we are okay for now. And we just hope that the Bank of Zambia, the Ministry of Finance, will continue to put in place measures that will ensure that inflation is managed effectively for the benefit of the entire country. Indeed, Patrick, today is that big day for Zambia in the history, 14th of July 2022, where the AU fourth meeting, is it fourth mid-year summit? Yes. Is being held, and it's starting today up until the 17th of July 2022. So around 9 hours, Minister of Foreign Affairs Stanley Kakuba and his counterpart will officially open the sessions this morning, and we will be tracking those stories and seeing to it that information that is being discussed here is brought to light through the media. Obviously, most of the media houses, including ourselves, will be tapping into
some of those conversations that will be generated at this AU Media Summit. And let me just look at the story. Yesterday there was a briefing, Patrick, which you and Prudence attended, where the AU Commissioner said that one of the key issues to be discussed at the 4th Media Coordination Meeting, which starts today, is on regional integration. The AU Deputy Chief of Mission to Data, who spoke during the first press briefing, you must understand that they will constantly be briefing the media. And the facility there, Patrick, I must mention, is very state-of-the-art, and a lot of press conference rooms, and you can actually get close to the way I did yesterday. I got lost yesterday at Kenneth Kaunda International Conference Center because it's a marvel of an infrastructure, you know. So yes, it's starting today, and one of the issues also that will be discussed there is about the pandemics that are affecting African countries, Patrick, COVID-19, among other issues of security in the African continent. Obviously, just a reminder, 12 heads of states, including ours, that's 13, will grace the occasion. And the official, I think, close of this ceremony will be on Sunday, isn't it, Patrick? 4th.
Yes, interesting.
The 4th day.
Yeah. So the major event for the heads of states will be on Sunday, yes, on the 17th of July, and we'll also have ministers' conference. Should be on Saturday on the 16th. But before that, there will also be meetings that will be taking place starting today, and not even just starting today. Way back.
They started
a long time ago.
A week ago.
The meetings have been,
they've had a lot of meetings,
yes,
a lot of organizations discussing different issues, climate change, girls' issues,
yes,
gender-related issues. A lot of meetings have taken place, mining issues. Yesterday, the Minister of Mines was at Mulungushi, among other stakeholders. I saw a meeting there. And the other day it was an issue of climate change. Patrick sent blessings there. The other time it was issues to do with girls. Basically, it's been a whole hive of activity around Mulungushi area, and security has been tightened. Obviously, today up until Sunday, in case you don't have a badge or a pass, you will not be allowed to enter those premises. Yeah,
interesting. You mentioned that among the issues to be talked about and most likely to be addressed by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is the issue of the COVID-19 pandemic, especially that we are talking about responses in terms of vaccinations, and as Africa taking its own measures to ensure that it has its own vaccine, and that to avoid a situation where we had to depend on all imported vaccine from Western and Eastern countries. And just now we also look at there's another aspect that is important during this meeting, that is the regional integration, where we have a number of issues under the regional integration flagship. Among flagship programs under this include the Continental Africa Free Trade Area, which these African leaders will be discussing about, and other meetings will be held regarding the continental trade. I understand that Zambia had taken a position recently when we were talking to the Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry, Mr. Chipoka Mulenga. He did indicate that if they were in government, then they would have enacted the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, considering that there are a lot of issues that need to be addressed for Zambia to effectively compete and participate in the continental trade. Because under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, we look at countries like South Africa and Nigeria. They have huge economies, and they are highly industrialized in the sense that they can export almost any commodity or product, Sharon, if given a chance. But if you look at Zambia, Sharon, competing with South Africa, it is not possible at the moment, because if you look, the trade balance between Zambia and South Africa is in favor of South Africa, because Zambia exports less to that country, and we import almost everything. And it's just that some of the products that our local manufacturers can produce, we equally import the others from South Africa. And so the minister was saying that Zambia still needs a little of time to ensure that it catches up, to ensure that it actually puts in place economic fundamentals that enable it to participate effectively on the continental trade. So this is another important issue, Sharon. And when we talk about regional integration, there are also a number of issues. Among the flagship programs under regional integration includes the single African passport, though we haven't been doing making much progress. It's been on
the table for a very long time.
Yes, so these are also under Agenda 2060. Is it 63? Yes, so we look at these the single-use passport, where you just need one African passport to access all the countries of Africa. At the moment, the passports we use are Commonwealth. So all Commonwealth member countries most of the times would access those countries with visa-free. But now, with the African passport, it means, Sharon, you would go to any country in Africa without you needing a visa. So that eases trade, because sometimes visa restrictions tend to sometimes
deter people
from moving,
doing certain things, because we don't really like long processes.
Exactly. Yeah. So you'd rather go to Zimbabwe, because Sharon, you just go and produce your passport. Off, you are in Zimbabwe.
Exactly.
Yeah. So all those arrangements. So we just hope that these conversations will be ignited during this African Union Summit, which Zambia is hosting. Zambia has been a critical player in terms of the African Union. It was the Organization of African Unity, and now the African Union. All those changes, Zambia has been part and parcel
of the whole processes. Indeed, Patrick. So, like we mentioned earlier, we will be tracking these stories to ensure that you're kept informed, kept on your toes on what is happening. Of course, check our socials. Check the socials for other. Yeah, I think even the African Union also, they have a very, very active Twitter page that they will be posting on these issues that they will be discussing. You can also follow, get participating, get interested in issues that matter for you. I know when you're frustrated sometimes, you say, is my voice being heard? But to some extent, you may just think your opinion is not being heard, it's not being considered. But at some point, eventually, somebody out there will listen. They'll pick it up and they will use your opinion to speak their mind, and that way you will be heard. It's not about saying, no, Patrick said. You will not probably hear that in the lifetime. But somebody influential will pick your opinion and use it, and they will act on it. However, moving on, in some of the stories that we aired yesterday, let's zoom in. The United Party for National Development Secretary General Batuke Emenda has charged that former President EDGAR Lungu was known as a poor lawyer before ascending to presidency in 2015. Hence, cannot afford to buy his wife Esther Lungu the 15 flats in State Lodge area, which are currently being investigated. In an interview, Mr. Emenda alleges that the wealth that the former first family has does not coordinate with the family's income, stating that not even presidential salaries for the last 7 years can make them as rich as they are now. He was reacting to sentiments by the former head of state that his residence on Tuesday that his family is being persecuted, adding that the Patriotic Front has nothing to complain about, as they were known to be a vindictive government. And Patrick, there we have a story also coming from the UPND.
Yes, meanwhile, United Party for National Development, UPND Western Province Youth Chairman Bruce Kanema has watered down remarks by former Republican President EDGAR Lungu over the fight against corruption in the country being a witch hunt. Mr. Kanema says this is not the time to politic, as it will only land the country into chaos and challenge the youths to desist from being used as tools to create political mileage on behalf of politicians who do not mean well for their welfare. And UPND Copper Belt Youth Chairman Waleni Hanyama has challenged the opposition political parties in the country to criticize government objectively and help provide solutions to the challenges the country is facing.
Indeed, let's look at those two stories. Thereafter, we continue the conversation. However, just a reminder, we're talking about the girls' football team. They made us proud. Look at the topic of discussion scrolling on your screens, and thereafter, you can call us and have contributions insofar as that is concerned. Otherwise, for me, I say they need more funding. Let's talk about it after these two stories.
This is a picture of former President EDGAR Lungu and President Hakainde Hichilema recently taken during the funeral of veteran politician quota winner which made many people think that the rival Patriotic Front PF and the United Party for National Development UPND were finally making peace. This, however, is not the case, as former President Edgar Lungu on Tuesday made accusations against the current administration, stating that they were persecuting the former First Family by investigating the 15 flats in State Lodge area belonging to former First Lady Esther Lungu. The said flats are being investigated by the Drug Enforcement Commission DEC, as the records are said to be missing at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Speaking when PF members of Parliament and other party members gathered to offer solidarity to the First Family at their residence on Tuesday, the former head of state alleged that he is aware that the current administration is after him.
You don't have to be very intelligent to know that after her is me. Yeah. So this is a sequence. You're just peeling the onion. So I'm ready. All I can say is I'm ready. And they talk about immunity. Yes, they can take away the immunity, but I'll be able to answer to whatever charges. So I'm ready. Even if they say, look, I'm hiding behind the immunity, I'm not hiding anything. And even now, they're at liberty to question me and see if they can answer. So don't worry. I know what's going on. The strategy is to make sure that they kill PF. They kill my political life. I'm still politically active, although not in leadership, but I can still give an opinion, I can still influence certain things. So they are worried about that.
Responding to the sentiments, UPND Secretary General Batuke Imenda has challenged the former president to produce evidence of the sources of income, alleging that he was known as a poor lawyer before ascending to presidency. Mr. Imenda charges that not even presidential salaries for the last 7 years can amount to the property that the former First Family now has.
Everyone knows Lungu, the poor lawyer. That's what everyone knows. Everyone knows the story that had been reported in the media where President Lungu was accused of having squandered the money belonging to a widow. That is what someone can shamelessly claim to have that Lungu was a prominent lawyer when he was living in Chawama in a miserable house. Today the wife can have numerous plots, numerous properties which are very expensive, that are not worth than all the money earned by the husband for the period that he had been in government. 7 years that the husband has been in the government, add all the salaries, they will not be total to the value of those properties they are talking about.
A number of officials, mainly from the former ruling Patriotic Front, have been summoned by investigative wings since the change of government in August 2021 to clear the properties which are suspected to be proceeds of crime. The current administration has been claiming lack of interference in this, stating that investigative wings are conducting an independent job. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Public debate has erupted on whether or not former Republican President Edgar Lungu was right to have issued remarks on the fight against corruption in the country, targeting specific individuals. The remarks have, however, unsettled United Party for National Development UPND Northwestern Youth Chairman Bruce Kanema, who says all politicians in the country should desist from politicizing every developmental agenda in the country. Mr. Kanema is of the view that corruption fight is not targeting individuals and challenged those cited before the law enforcers to be answerable.
This man does not mean well. And since he declared that he is ready to surrender his immunity so that he clears his name, I will therefore call upon the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Kainde Chilema, and all the well-meaning parliamentarians to move the motion to remove the immunity of this man so that he can test the sort that he has brought forward by himself.
Mr. Kanema has also challenged the opposition leaders to provide objective criticism.
We don't need much politics right now. We have got someone who is very sober in the State House. We have got a very formidable cabinet which has got vibrant men and women, which all of us need to support to ensure that our country begins to realize what we have. We are a blessed country with natural resources, but we are failing to exploit them because of politics. Politics is almost overtaking something, overtaking our country. That is why you can see that people like Membe, people like Chirufetayali, people like Boma and Lusambo, you see all these characters, they have got nothing to offer.
Meanwhile, UPND Copper Belt Youth Chairman Walen Hinyama has also challenged all individuals with grievances against the law enforcement agencies to desist from engaging government in such matters.
If they have got issues with the law enforcement agencies, let them just answer, not accusing the head of state and insulting the government. Let them answer. They arrested the people. People died during their reign. A lot of people, if we talk of Mapenzi Chikuru, Wisdom Matapa, and many others.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News.
Interesting stories there, Sharon. I think the UPND
the way
is just...
you said my name today.
You don't want me to say your name?
Sure. Like you have no teeth. Sure. But anyways, keep trying. You'll get it right one day.
You are crazy.
You'll get it right one
I'm
day.
actually thinking of just enrolling you for the women's national team. But good what they are deaf.
If there's money, anything is possible.
So money is the only motivation.
No, because for me to move out of my comfort zone, honestly, to go and play football. You know, at teenage, I would you know, those sporting activities at school, like sports day and stuff. I think I would be among those that would be giving to my oranges, what do you call those, bubble gums, water. Not running per se, no. I would tire within, I don't know, 30 seconds or something. So really,
it's a mission impossible. But you can be a coach. We can enroll you for a coaching.
Maybe. So a coach is not supposed to be somebody who's been on the pitch before?
No, you can have experience. We have coaches that are professionals, but they haven't played football actively. But you just love football. You play football. Just like you don't play football, but you love football. You get it. You have the passion and everything. I don't know. Maybe Amos can correct me if Mr. Kamanga was an effective football player. But he's an administrator, you understand, and he's managing football. But you also can't compare him to Samuel Eto'o. Eto'o is a hands-on. He's been playing the game. Yeah. He's also running the federation in Cameroon. So you understand what I mean.
Is it the reason why you want your other guy?
Karushawaya.
The other guy?
The other guy has done his part. We have other guys. We have the Katongos. We have other guys. I don't agree of
Former President Edgar Lungu's statement. The other guy.
The other guy has also done his part, Sharon. Let's let him live.
The other guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, Patrick, you were talking about the female.
Yeah, they did well, and they actually put up a good performance, Sharon. I hope you managed to watch that game. It ended full time 1-0.
I just heard the noise.
Yes.
I just heard the noise. I actually thought there was something burning out there, you know, because there was just too much noise. And
I can assure you, Sharon, that the girls are stealing the vibe from the male national team. So we may reach at a point when we start saying, please, can you support our national men's team?
I think wait for that.
At the moment we've been talking about, let's support the female or the Copper Queens. But, you know, people now are appreciating. Now there's a huge vibe for the Copper Queens. Zambians want to give this support to this team, Sharon.
I can't wait for you to start begging.
Someone wants to talk to us.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for calling us. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Mr. Levy, thank you so much for becoming a regular. We may just award you.
Morning, madam.
Morning, thanks. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Mr. Patrick, how are you?
Fine, how are you, Mr. Ngoma?
I'm okay.
You go ahead with your contribution.
I want to contribute to the topic of the women leadership for
Please go ahead.
Mr. Patrick?
Yes, we can hear you. You can go ahead.
Have you seen women?
Yes, we have seen.
Can we compare men football? The way they play.
No, we can't.
Not at all, Mr. Ngoma.
They are putting Zambia, how Zambia made, for some of the book with the
Botswana, yes. We can't. No, we can't compare them. We can't compare them.
So, they can ensure that they are keeping their money, not they story. Are we the party?
Yes, we are getting you.
So, they can support the women. They're doing well.
Thank you, Mr. Ngoma.
So, the way they are, that is the point.
All right.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you so much,
Ngoma.
Mr. Goma. Though he wasn't talking to me, but it's female football. I don't know why he kept on saying, Mr. Patrick, Mr. Patrick. Guys, eh?
Sharon.
Exactly, you know. Sharon, have you seen how your fellow what are playing, you know? So that I feel, you know, that kind of thing, and no, I'm being recognized.
Exactly. But you see, Mr. Ngoma was just trying to compare our men's national team. We're just from saying that soon we'll be begging for supporters to support the men's national team because of their poor performance. Because the Copper Queens are stealing all the vibes. If you look at the way they were coordinating, Sharon, me, I appreciate they were able to give 5 solid passes to each other. 5 solid passes. I don't see that in the men's team. Chidunu, that's what I see. You understand, eh?
What is Chidunu? The viewers out there, I know what Chidunu is.
You know, eh?
I do.
We could also call it Chipante. You understand?
All over.
That's how they play. But you saw, but the girls, they have the confidence. They will stop the
want
ball.
to prove. You know what you want to prove to the world, that you are you, and you know people have always underrated you. They've always thought you're not capable of doing certain things, but then when you reach a level of saying, I want to prove myself that I can do it, those are the results. So please, next time, don't give us less money, give us equal funds to the men's national team. We're capable, because you know sometimes what makes people not to actually perform according to standard, truth be told, is the disparity in the way the packages are being given. You find that the male folk are given, probably, it's just an example, they're given maybe 20,000 kwacha, and then for the female, they're given 10. Half. So meaning what? Half wa guys, let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. So please, can things be equal so that it just becomes a level playing field?
Sharon, I want now, first of all, I compel you to watch the match, since you told me you were just hearing the vibe. Now, I was so cold. To get a preview. I was so cold. Lusaka has been very cold. In case you don't know, tell us how your weather is, where you are, because Lusaka has been very cold, such that all that noise of yours, I even got like, what's happening? Then I remember to say, oh, the girls are playing. Yes, and they played very well. I think that was the moment when they played very well. The last whistle blew, like, psh, yes. If you look at the Talanga Lioness. Is it Lioness, the female? Yes, they were no match, because normally the first half the match was almost like 50-50, but our girls have huge engines. You know what I mean? Their capacity to absorb pressure is huge. So they managed to contain the pressure, and Senegal and yes, and they managed the game entirely. And I'm just loving the way the levels of confidence they have, and the ability to see each other and pass the ball to each other, to coordinate one another. They coordinate very well. But you know, when you're watching football, is meant to be enjoyed. Me, I don't even enjoy a match whereby you're just playing all over, like you are saying, all over. You don't even know. You can't even send a clear pass to your friend. So, but the game, the way it was entertaining, Sharon. You know, football has to provide that entertainment. That's why we watch the games. So I think next week Saturday, I'm organizing a match between I don't know if it's Camnet's
stuff. I want to see Elijah's legs, Amos. You know, he can always be talking about football off the pitch all the time for 2 years.
But we've
never seen him, you know, kick the ball left, right, and center. So Elijah there is just smiling, you know, thinking that no, all is rosy, but we see how things are going to be.
I can only imagine Chitapankwa playing football. I think he needs to be in the goal. I can really.
No, he has to run around.
Yeah.
So next week,
can he run?
After this this session,
First
honestly,
of all, can he run?
I think he can.
No, I would depend on your assumption, but my thinking that it just needs to be
you know, if it means having three side, as long as ball I take, it has to be played. And you know me when I say something.
But I haven't given a comment about me.
I've seen you play. No, I'm confident. For that, I have seen you play, honestly. Media team. He plays as part of the patrons, the organizers, the chairpersons, the everything actually, the organizer. So I wouldn't be shocked. You actually even have a full kit. Boots, what do you call those? Shields,
I think you are getting there. We're getting there, Coach.
Coach Sharon. Yeah, you also have, you know, full kits. You know, if you tell you so you can wear those to my leggings. What do you call them? What do you call them?
Yeah.
But what do you mean wear those things?
No, we'll find out from Amos Lungu on the pitch. But it's a sport attire.
Okay, so yeah, I'm promising you this. The other week, Saturday, you guys have to go and play football, at least even for 30 minutes. Just jiggle your muscles.
Yeah, it is also important to keep fit and also social.
It's a bonding mechanism.
Social, you know, it's not about every time punching the keyboards, busy behind the cameras, behind everything. So football actually is a good sport for you to just relax and just share ideas while you're playing the game.
Exactly. So I'm organizing. I think we can play against one of the media houses.
Because there's so many things you've promised that have not come to fruition, but I hope this one does.
No, this one will definitely come. I'll talk to one of the media guys, media colleagues, to organize a team from their station. Let's see how it goes. We are Camnet.
We'll play 6-a-side.
All right, let's take a short breather. When we return, we continue the conversation. In case you are just joining us, this is The Breakfast Show. My name is Sharon Kalimbula, and our chair is Patrick Soko. Good morning.
Shootout. There's a lady who converted against Burkina Faso, Cogafor, and she's also believed to be one expert when it comes to this. Cogafor, oh, she misses. Cogafor misses, and that means there's a huge blow there for Senegal. You can see Captain Chanda. All of them are trying as much as possible to see what they can do. Zulu up against Tenen Sen. It's Zulu. Zulu! She makes it too. Simple, exquisite. It's a Nali. We'll see if she can stop this one there from Mama Diop. An interesting one there from Mama Diop. playing a part and seeing what she can do there for the side. Tell you what, Bruce Mwapi decided to bring on his charges, those who can't convert for him, and his Mama Diop here, the long player, Mama Diop, and she does well. She converts beautifully again. Who's got a chance to make it 4 here, if she can. Wepa here, and it's been saved. What did I say? So this is it. Yakate, and she's been saved. Nali saves Yakate. Guess what's going to happen now? She decides to take this one on. And she has the confidence. And it is his own Nali. She saves one. Can she score one? She saves one. And she scores! And this time the storyline has changed. 4-2 it is, and history has been made. 4-2 ended on penalties after just 1-1 and 90 minutes. And Bruce Mwepe, I have to be honest with you, the coach of Zambia, when he was not making change.
It's a goal! Beautiful there, beautiful goals, Patrick. It makes me want to put on that full gear and just get in there and do what I'm supposed to do. But anyways, I'm always on the other side. Coach Sharon out there.
Exactly.
Doing what she knows best. Cheerleading.
Coach Sharon there, the academy is on its way. She will be coaching the female side of the Camnet Stars. She will be on the technical bench. We are working on that. In case you're not aware, we have the teams that are playing football here doing very fine. We had a fantastic season the previous season. We just managed to finish top of the group, starting and finishing top.
Indeed.
It never happens. It's quite unusual.
And but that was the team, really. It's not a very odd team. It's not, I shouldn't even say a very odd team. It's a new team that was assembled, and it's just started. I think it was earlier this year or late December last year. Yes. Yeah. So it's a very new team.
It's a very new team.
It's just being organized, and for it to perform to that expectation is simply a marvel. And hopefully in the next season they will do even better. And by then, obviously, we're hoping that we'll have maybe female lads coming into the female team coming into play and doing what they do best as well. Who wants to see the Lushomos of that world? Patrick.
Interesting.
I know one of the colleagues, the guys on social media, our colleague Marco Kwakozi and Albert Mpezeni and Edmond Mbangamiti, you know, they were actually saying, this is my wife. I've actually found my rib. They will actually be waiting for her at the airport while she's coming, and say, okay. So I'm yet to see how they will manage to do that, each with a ring, wanting to do the needful at the airport for Lushomo.
Yeah, we hope they succeed. Yeah.
It's such a marvel, especially for Edmond. I want Edmond to do the needful.
Yeah, but I would call them gold diggers. When you meet them, tell them that.
They are gold diggers, right?
Yes. Yes.
So Edmond, Makokwa, and Albert Mpezeni, gold diggers.
Yes. Tell them that.
Leave Lushomo alone.
Yeah, because the girls are doing fine and they want to propose. We don't want them to go to the World Cup with your whatever.
With your fake proposals.
We want them to go to the World Cup, first of all, intact. You know, they have made history. They have done a good job, Sharon, because the Zambia national team on the other side, the men's team, has never qualified to the World Cup. We still continue. It remains an aspiration. But if you look at the girls, they have done great things for us as a country. They have represented us at the Commonwealth Games. At the Olympics, at the Olympic Games, rather, and we are now at the World Cup. This is quite an achievement for the Copper Queens and the nation at large. And we saw how Senegal, when they scored that goal, when they felt they had qualified, well, we just had to take out the moment out of them and make sure that we steal the day. And thankfully, Zambia managed to progress to the World Cup. This is quite an achievement that Zambians should be proud of. In case you want to contribute to this discussion, it remains on our social media. You can add your perspective and your views regarding Zambia going to the World Cup.
Indeed, Patrick, very interesting that we have reached this level, and hopefully the men will reach this level. They haven't really done as proud a couple of years. I think they haven't even managed to qualify to the Africa Cup, I think, on is it 3 consecutive times?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're hoping that this time around they will at least try to make us proud and qualify for the Africa Cup while we hope for the World Cup, because one of the coaches we've had, I think, resigned or left on the basis of failing to take the team to the World Cup. You know, it's something that we so much desire as a nation. So we hope that the boys will actually look at this and get motivated to actually do better. Because you know, when a woman does something very nice, you start thinking, so obviously, this is what is going on, you know, even when they are watching.
But it's good for competition.
But it's good for competition.
So that they should wake
good
up.
for competition, yes. And we surely hope that you're not looking at it, Patrick, on the from a Joyce point of view, from a jealous point of view. Just pull up your stockings.
Yes.
You know, pull up your stockings and do better. Jealous muntuanga.
Well, oh dear viewers, we have come to the 9 minutes of our program for today, and just now we've managed to ensure that we give you the segment pertaining to health, and as well as zoom in some of the stories that were trending. One of the stories involving the UPND, who were actually taking on the former president EDGAR LUNGU regarding the sentiments that he issued at his residence. Sharon.
All right, are we closing?
We are opening.
You know, this reminds me of my hometown, where the presenters were asking each other to say, what's coming next? And this is exactly what is happening to me right now. But anyways, thank you so much for choosing Camnet TV. We were saying bye now because we have a couple of activities that are happening. We mentioned earlier that we have the AU that is just starting, so we need to ensure that we are there at Kenneth Kaunda International Conference Center, where the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Stanley Kakuwa, and his counterpart from the AU will be officially opening these sessions today up until the close of these big 4 days sessions on Sunday. And we need to be there and place our cameras right so that we can capture the moment and bring to you. Remember, this is a big national event as well as continental event in Africa, and Zambia is privileged to host this event. Patrick, when we had a mini get through of the whole process, we were told that some heads of state are not actually very happy that we were hosting this. So it's a privilege for us as a country. There are many things, many benefits that come with hosting such a big event. It is indeed the 4th Media Coordination Summit for the African countries, and we have 13 heads of state coming into the country and talking about various issues that can move the continent forward. So look forward to our screen, look forward to our social media pages and our in-depth reports insofar as the activities that are happening that side are concerned.
Good morning.
Bye.